Tonight, you are not simply falling asleep, you are stepping into a sacred chamber where your beliefs will be rewritten and your future will begin its silent construction. You are not falling asleep, you are installing a new self. As you close your eyes, I will speak directly to the invisible powers that shape your future, your subconscious mind. This speech will go to work. It will plant belief. It will plant definite purpose. What you allow into your mind before slumber determines what awakens in your life. The subconscious mind never closes its doors. Your deeper self remains alert. It is listening to the last thoughts you feed it. It is shaping them, multiplying them, giving them direction, and it does not discriminate. It will act on whatever is planted, truth or lie, riches or ruin. It will carry out whatever order you feed it. So I warn you, if you retire each night in worry, fear, confusion, or complaint, you are commanding the very force that builds your future to construct failure. But if you persist in hearing this message, if you give yourself wholly to its repetition, your beliefs will shift. And when your beliefs shift, so does your identity. And when your identity changes, so does your reality. Tonight I offer you not mere advice, but a system of reconditioning. Repetition is the tool, faith is the fire, and the subconscious mind is the field. The subconscious mind is the faithful servant of your dominant thought. Fall asleep with courage in your chest, faith in your belly, and purpose in your voice. You will command the subconscious to build in your favor. And it will. It will obey without judgment, without question. It will serve the master you choose to be. You are not weak. You are not a victim. You are not at the mercy of outer events. You are the architect. You are the instructor. You are powerful beyond measure because you are capable of choosing what to believe and repeating it until your very self awaken to a new self, new reality. What you think of most with faith becomes your reality. What you repeat, you install. What you install, you become. And what you become is what the world reflects back to you. This process is not passive. Though you are resting, your inner self must be alert. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. Fear may have ruled your nights until now, but it ends tonight. You are now a man of conscious repetition, of deliberate command, of definite belief. And the subconscious has no choice but to obey the new master, the one who speaks faith without apology. You are not made to tremble. You are made to stand. You are not designed to wish. You are designed to command. Now say this within: I trust the law. I trust the timing. I have nothing to fear. I move with decision. I live with purpose. I have power over thought. You may not feel brave yet, but say it anyway. Say it nightly. Say it repeatedly. Say it until the fear has no place left to hide. You are not required to feel ready. You are only required to speak faith, courage, definite purpose until you no longer recognize the old version of yourself. For it is only by repetition that the old man is buried and the new man rises. Abraham Lincoln was not fearless by nature, but he pressed forward, not because he felt powerful, but because his purpose outweighed his fear. His inner voice was clear. He knew what he stood for, and so must you. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. You tonight will install faith. You will install courage. You will install definite purpose. You must become deliberate in your inner conditioning. This is the sacred art of auto-suggestion, the daily feeding of the subconscious with hand-picked thoughts. You suggest what to think. You suggest what to feel. And the subconscious receives it, works upon it, acts upon it, and delivers it back to you as circumstance, condition, and opportunity. It will carry out whatever order you feed it, especially that which is fed repeatedly and with emotion. You may call it programming. You may call it impressing. The name is not the power. The power is in the repetition backed by belief. Tonight I offer you not mere advice, but a system of reconditioning. Repetition is the tool. Repetition is the great law of mental fertility. It is the silent sculptor behind every fortune and every failure. What the mind repeats, it installs. The same way a farmer repeats the tilling of soil before the crop appears, you must till the fields of your mind with repetition, with belief, with definite purpose. You are not wasting time by hearing this again and again. You are building the scaffolding of your future. As surely as a bridge must be constructed before a carriage crosses it, your mind must be structured before riches can arrive. No wealth may come permanently except your mind must first built through a pattern of inner belief and repeated command. You must build the inner castle before the world allows you to possess the outer one. This is not one night's work. You must condition the mind daily. The mind, like a muscle, must be trained through your repeated thought. There's no magic here, only natural law. The same law that builds muscle through repeated motion. Repeated thought impressed upon the mind with belief and persistence becomes your reality. For it is not fate that determines your wealth. It is your repeated thought. Your repeated thought becomes your outer reality. So I warn you, the man who repeats fear becomes afraid. The man who repeats courage becomes unstoppable. This is no game. This is not motivational whim. This is mental craftsmanship. You are training the worker beneath your conscious mind. He is tireless. He is faithful. But he is without judgment. He will act on whatever is planted. Truth or lie, riches or ruin. The subconscious will not question your fears. It does not reason. It does not challenge. It does not debate. It obeys, and it obeys completely. It is the invisible hand that shapes your future, taking instruction from whatever you allow to dominate your inner conversation, through gossip, through complaint, through fear, through conversation filled with doubt. If you do not instruct your subconscious, others will. The world is loud with suggestion, and most of it is poison. The man who does not guard his mind is a man whose future is written by strangers. Now say this within: I have nothing to fear. I move with decision. I live with purpose. I have power over thought. Repeat it until it is fixed in your identity. For it is only by repetition that the old man is buried and the new man rises. Henry Ford was not considered intelligent by the world. He was mocked by the educated. His ideas were ridiculed, yet he moved forward. Why? Because his belief was more definite than their doubt. He repeated his inner picture of what must be until no argument could take it from him. Engineers told him it could not be done. He said it would be done, and they did it. Not because they believed, but because he did. His subconscious mind had already accepted the image. The outer world was forced to comply. Such is the power of repeated belief made definite through persistence. Definiteness of purpose is the very foundation of all achievement. The mind craves direction. When your mind has no chief aim, it becomes the target of fear, of criticism, of suggestion by the mediocre. But the definite man becomes immune to suggestion. He thinks, he acts, he commands, he decides, he expects, he achieves, and the world follows him. So now I give you a nightly ritual. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. Now take your definite purpose, and as you fall asleep, let the sound of it echo in your inner chamber. Hear it whispered within: I am the master of my destiny. My thoughts shape my future. I command wealth to come to me through faith and through persistent repetition. Say it aloud. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as a command from headquarters. Say it until doubt dies and belief becomes your new atmosphere. Make sure that voice is definiteness, not doubt. Wealth does not belong to the most gifted. It belongs to the most definite. Fortune does not follow talent. It follows clarity. And clarity comes from discipline, from faith, from daily inner work. And that work begins now, tonight. This is your sacred hour. Do not entertain fear. Do not entertain doubts. Only power, only wealth, only definite purpose. Only definite allow purpose into your mind before slumber determines what awakens in your life. So I warn you, if you retire each night in worry, fear, if you give yourself wholly to its repetition, you are commanding the very force that builds your future to construct failure. Tonight I offer you a system of reconditioning. Fear may have ruled your nights until now, but it ends tonight. The ghosts of fear are cast out. They have no bed here. They have no power. Wealth is not for the faint of heart. It belongs to those who speak faith louder than fear. Wealth and fear cannot share the same bed. Wealth cannot grow where fear is planted. Riches do not abide in a heart ruled by fear. The mind that harbors fear is like a field overrun by weeds, choking out the harvest before it rises. The subconscious will not question your fears. It will accept them as orders, and it will build your world according to the blueprint you hand it. Be it faith or fright, what you repeat, you install. What you install, you become. And what you become is what the world reflects back to you. You cannot escape this law. You can only obey it or violate it. When you obey it consciously, it serves you. When you ignore it, it serves your fears. It gives permanency to your dominant thought. What you allow into your mind before slumber determines what awakens in your life. This is why you must be intentional with every word you hear before sleep. Though you are resting, your inner self must be alert. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. Though you are resting, you will sleep as one whose mind belongs to wealth, not worry. And when you rise, do so as one whose fears are buried beneath the footsteps of belief. The subconscious mind is the faithful servant of your dominant thought. Your repeated thought becomes your dominant thought, and your dominant thought becomes your outer reality. Therefore, if your dominant thought is doubt, it will fix it in your mind until you see doubt in every opportunity. If your dominant thought is wealth, then wealth shall take root in your identity and begin to pull its physical equivalent into your world. Your outer world is the matured harvest of your inner thought garden. Every condition in your present life was once a seed of belief, planted by thought, watered by repetition, and hardened by emotion. Most men do not plant deliberately. They allow weeds to grow. And then they ask, why am I poor? Why poverty haunts them? They do not realize they are the ones who authorized its construction. They allowed failure to take root through repetition. They forget the answer lies in the thoughts they repeated for years. Money is hard. I'm not lucky. People like me don't get rich. These are not harmless phrases. These are the repeated commands that their subconscious received and obeyed. And no amount of wishing will undo what habit has installed. The universe is governed by cosmic habit force. It is invisible, but it is binding. It works on all men equally. It makes permanent that which is repeated. It installs into your mental machinery the ideas you dwell upon most, whether good or evil, faith or fear, riches or lack. What the mind repeats, it installs. Now I give you a nightly commands. Repeat them, but do not let them pass without feeling. I plant the seed of wealth every night. It is growing, even while I sleep. Nothing enters my mind unless I permit it. I release the fear of poverty. I choose faith. I choose wealth. My subconscious obeys me because I train it daily with faith, courage, definite purpose. This message is to be repeated night after night until you no longer recognize the old version of yourself. For it is only by repetition that the old man is buried and the new man rises. You must not waver. You must not skip nights. This is not entertainment. This is identity construction. And identity is not built by inspiration. It is built by repeated instruction. It is built by faith, courage, definite purpose, and the refusal to allow negative suggestion to enter your sacred chamber of mind. The subconscious will carry out whatever you accept. If you feed it images of poverty, it will create conditions of poverty. If you speak wealth, then wealth shall take root in your identity and begin to pull its physical equivalent into your world. This is not one night's work. No man becomes rich by accident. He becomes rich by trained his subconscious mind daily through a pattern of inner belief and repeated command. Consider Andrew Carnegie, the great steel magnate. He trained his mind daily to dwell on fortune, on service, on industry, and on the power of men united by purpose. His belief became stronger than all opposition. His habits of thought were not accidental. They were designed. He would not tolerate any idea that contradicted his vision. He expelled negative conversation. He refused weak associations. He did not accept lack as a final verdict. He believed wealth was a duty, a calling to serve, to lead, to build. And that belief, repeated daily, became his identity. His identity attracted the fortune. You must now do the same. You are reconstructing the architecture of your identity. You are installing a new self. Do not be like most men who install fear, install indecision, install vague desires, but you tonight will build differently. Do not entertain fear. Do not entertain doubts. Only power, only wealth, only definite purpose. Your mind shall be your temple, and no false god of doubt shall enter. Your thoughts will serve you, or you will replace them. Tonight we begin the removal. Fear. For too long, fear has slept beside you. It has whispered in your ear as you drifted. It has told you lies in the voice of reason. It has called itself protection, safety, caution. But it is the enemy, and it must be expelled. Fear is like ghosts. It's invisible forces that haunt the minds of men and turn dreams to dust. These ghosts of fear form a prison without bars, because the bars exist within the mind. And each night you entertain them, you renew their power. But I tell you now, the man who governs his thoughts may evict any ghost, and he begins by naming it, confronting it, and replacing it. He refuses to allow fear to disguise itself as logic. He sees it plainly, and once he sees it, he defeats it by faith, courage, definite purpose. These three are your weapons. Fear cannot dwell in a mind that is full of faith, courage, definite purpose. They are spiritual in nature, but they are practical in power. They drive out confusion. They uproot fear at the root, and they leave in its place a firmness of purpose that no ghost dares challenge. Fear is the devil's whisper. Faith is the voice of infinite intelligence. When you hear fear telling you to hesitate, to wait, to doubt, it is the enemy speaking. And it must be silenced, not with passivity, but with command. You do not negotiate with it, you drive it out by naming it, confronting it, and replacing it. For it is not enough to remove fear. You must replace it. Nature does not allow a vacuum. The moment fear is gone, you must fill the space with purpose, with vision, with desire. Now I ask you, what do you desire? Is it freedom from employment? The freedom to awaken when you choose, not when an alarm demands? Say it, write it, declare it. Do you dream of owning your own enterprise and being the source of security for those you love? Is it the ownership of land, of property, of riches to be passed down for generations? Is it the power to bless your family, to give, to create, to build? Then listen, claim it, state it aloud, feel it, demand it, repeat it until it is fixed in your identity. Let no vague wish remain in your mind. Feed that picture into your subconscious every night until your very cells begin to expect it, until the world itself begins to move toward you like metal toward a magnet. Tonight, as you plant the image, speak the affirmation and fall asleep in command. Do not permit even one thought of vagueness to remain. Know what you want. Know why you want it. Know how you will feel when it is yours. Now, as you drift as one who is deciding what your life shall be. Drift with the firm knowledge that as you sleep, something greater than you is working on your behalf, guided by your faith, your repetition, and your decision to never return to the old way again. Drift not as a beggar, but as a builder. Drift as a commander. Drift with the quiet certainty that your repeated thoughts are constructing a new self. What you repeat, you install. What you install, you become. Now say this within: I trust the law, I trust the timing. I have nothing to fear. I move with decision. I live with purpose. I have power over thought. I create wealth through belief and action. Infinite intelligence guides my steps and supplies my needs. I am building a wealthy identity every day, every night, without fail. Repeat them. Feel them. Let them echo in your sleep. Let them be louder than your doubts. Let them overwhelm every weak belief you once carried. For it is only by repetition that the old man is buried and the new man rises. Thomas Edison prepared his mind each evening with the problems he sought to solve. He expected answers, and those answers arrived not in waking hours, but in dreams, in moments of calm when the subconscious was working undisturbed. He did not doubt, he expected. So tonight, do as Edison did. Hand your problem, your question, your desire to your deeper self. Then fall asleep with belief. Let your subconscious work as you rest. Expect ideas. Expect guidance. Expect strength to follow through. Expect favor from infinite intelligence itself. Now take one breath and let that image drift into sleep with you. See your goal, hear your voice, feel your command. Let the sound of it echo in your inner chamber. Hear it whispered within. Let it settle into the depths of your mind. Let it be carried down into your subconscious, where all real power begins. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. The subconscious mind will not remain idle. It is always at work. It is always building. And it will feed on whatever you plant or what others throw in. It is a builder without conscience. It builds both palaces and prisons depending on the blueprint. And the blueprint is the repeated thought backed by belief. The nighttime hour is golden. It is the hour of greatest influence. It is the hour when conscious resistance fades and the subconscious opens its doors. It is the hour when what is heard sinks deeper, settles further, and begins to root itself into your very identity. It is your link to infinite intelligence. It is the gateway through which hunches arrive, through which solutions form, through which wealth flows when commanded rightly. You do not control, but you do influence infinite intelligence, and the tool of that influence is your subconscious mind, trained by belief, repetition, and emotion. The conscious mind decides what to feed. This is who I am. The subconscious mind decides how to grow it. But both must work in harmony. The farmer cannot control the growth, but he can control the seed, the water, the rhythm of planting. There is no replacement for discipline, no substitute for persistent planting. So plant wisely and never again permit complaint or fear to be your lullaby. Let faith be your nighttime companion. Let definiteness be your closing thought. Let repetition do its silent work. Every night as you listen, you must feel these truths sink deeper into your inner self. I am the master of my destiny. My thoughts shape my future. I command wealth to come to me through faith and through persistent repetition. I am moving daily toward my definite purpose with unshakable faith. The means will appear because I have committed to the end. You must water the mind with these words until they become natural, until you no longer reach for them. They come to you. Let them seep into your soul. Until you no longer try to believe them, you are them. You are the architect. Just as a skilled builder follows the blueprint with precision, your mind must follow the voice of definiteness and faith as it is spoken. You are not merely hoping anymore. You are ordering. You are commanding. You are instructing the invisible powers that shape your future. You are declaring, "This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I shall receive." Not from arrogance, but from faith in the law that governs all growth. This is who I am. Feel it, demand it, repeat it until it is fixed in your identity. As you rest with the awareness that something far greater is now working beneath your surface, you must fall asleep with the quiet certainty that your thoughts are constructing a new self, and I give you the tools to build. Repetition with feeling is the tool. Faith is the fuel, decision is the fire, and emotion is the glue. These are the ingredients of change. These are the materials with which you construct a new inner man. And from that inner man, a new outer world shall follow. Do not pluck the seed to see if it grows. Let it work. Trust the law. Speak the affirmations with feeling. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, and what it repeats, it installs. What you install, you become. Fall asleep with discipline and awaken to miracles. The man who governs his nighttime thought becomes the ruler of his waking world. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. You are not passive. You are planting. You are feeding your field with wealth-conscious seed. You are tilling the soil of your destiny with only power, only wealth, only definite purpose. And that work begins now, tonight, as you plant the image, speak the affirmation, and fall asleep in command. This is not one night's work. It is not a magic lamp. It is the daily command of a commander. You must condition the mind daily. And you must believe that what you impress tonight will express tomorrow or the next day or the day after that. A man does not rise by one thought, one decision, or one prayer. He rises by the daily conditioning of his mind in the direction of power. A drifting mind is a doomed mind. A man without a purpose is a ship without a rudder, tossed about by wind, ruled by current, prey to every storm. But the man who knows what he wants and claims it boldly, he is magnetic. His thoughts are concentrated, his steps are directed, his presence is commanding, and success moves toward him without hesitation. Definiteness of purpose is the very foundation of all achievement. But once you give the mind a single, dominant, clearly envisioned aim, it begins to awaken powers that slept for years. It begins to burn away the fog of drifting. When your mind has no chief aim, it becomes the target of fear, of criticism, of suggestion by the mediocre. But the definite man becomes immune to suggestion. He thinks, he acts, he commands, he decides, he expects, he achieves, and the world follows him. The man who is definite may be resisted temporarily, but he is never defeated. Life bends to the man who bends his mind toward a single desire, held with faith and reinforced by persistent thought. You must now install that image, and not as a vague hope, but as a living command. Every night, as you drift to sleep, you must see your aim, picture it, hear the sounds it brings, smell the scent of success, touch the walls of your vision, taste the reward in advance. This is not delusion. It is construction. Do as my friend Barnes once did. He wished not merely to work for Thomas Edison, he wished to become his partner. Barnes had nothing but desire and definiteness. That was enough. He did not drift. He did not listen to doubt. He declared what he would be, and he backed it with faith, persistence, and the repeated image of success. What he believed, he achieved. Because he would not accept any alternative, he was deaf to all suggestion but his own. Tonight, you do not drift aimlessly. You drift with direction. You drift with authority. You drift with the mind of a commander, and what you repeat tonight with definiteness and belief will become the foundation of your fortune. Sure. Let these words become your armor. Let faith, courage, definite purpose strike like hammers into the walls of your mind until no fear can stand. Wealth is not for the faint of heart. It belongs to those let your subconscious know old ghosts of fear. The forces of fear are old tenants in the mind, but the moment you become definite, they begin to flee. They cannot hold ground against a man who repeats truth with unwavering belief. Do not let this be another night of old rehearsals. Do not retell the lies fear once told you. Replace them, bury them beneath faith, starve them of attention. Tonight, the ghosts of fear are cast out. You will no longer drift with them. You will command without them. Tonight, let this truth rest deep within you. The man who commands his subconscious commands his world. And the man who repeats the right idea with faith becomes the master of his conditions. Sleep not in confusion, but in clarity. Sleep not in fear, but in power. Sleep not in doubt, but in direction. Drift now into sleep, not as a man who waits, but as a man who commands. And may your subconscious carry out your orders with full obedience, building your new life as you rest. Faith is iron. It is forged in repetition. It is hardened by resistance. And you, my friend, are forging it nightly. Each thought you allow is another strike of the hammer. Soon the new you will rise, and the old fears will no longer recognize the man you have become. You are reconstructing the architecture of your identity. If your dominant thought is faith, it will fix it in your spirit until you meet life with calm power. If you feed it beliefs of power, it will create expressions of power. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. The law is simple. What you think of most with faith becomes your reality. What the mind repeats, it installs. What you install, you become. And what you become is what the world reflects back to you. What you allow into your mind before slumber determines what awakens in your life. A definite purpose. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. What you repeat, you install. What you install, you become. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is why I command you to listen nightly. This is why you must be intentional with every word you hear before sleep. You must become deliberate in your inner conditioning. You are the architect, you are the instructor, and you are responsible. Let these words become your armor. Let faith, courage, definite purpose strike like hammers into the walls of your mind until no fear can stand. You are not falling asleep. You are installing a new self. Expect guidance. Expect favor from infinite intelligence itself. Say it aloud. You are instructing the invisible powers that shape your future. You are declaring, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I shall receive. Say it until it feels natural. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as a command from headquarters. Say it until doubt dies and belief becomes your new atmosphere. Make sure that voice is definiteness, not doubt. Faith, courage, definite purpose. This message is to be repeated night after night until you no longer recognize the old version of yourself.